he promised we start next week.
They promise a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a lady, she wanted about 20 hours a week working for a health ride. She put 55 in last week. You went from almost, let's say, practically nothing to like 2 days to
I appreciate your help.
You got the minutes?
That is my daughter-in-law. She's married to
Is that okay
Kyle.
with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
put that paper down again.
Maybe it's that little girl. It's that little girl.
Well, what happened to this here too?
I don't know if any of those are right. That one. Mary.
You were a guy for the pens tonight, buddy.
I know. I know.
You see, all brought the citation about the Steelers drafting the quarterback.
Get that stuff.
Come on.
I'm hoping we never have to use it, but I think we should. And a couple. Hope for the best.
I've been there 15 years. No, no. Just like,
But
but
it is, it's
right now things aren't too good between places.
right, right.
One hit away.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Do you have the stuff, can we do the ordinance tonight, sign that, the mayor isn't here.
No, Mayor's not here. I can run and print it off if you want me to.
I wanted to sign it, I'll do it after the
It's a
meeting.
good thing you brought your own snack, because I didn't even make it home.
All right, because she has 10
Yeah, you
days.
did make it out.
I'd like her to
Could
sign
have
that.
fit
If she
sandwiches.
does nothing, it goes through.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But I would prefer
What got you
that
fall?
she participate.
I was doing,
Is she in town?
I was tearing apart a red car with the jaws of life,
Do you see her at all
and
anymore?
it come back and
She
hit me in the
called us
chest,
off, she didn't call today.
and knocked me on
Yeah.
my butt.
Today was gonna
I
say
broke my
day.
tailbone.
I figured it was for you.
Here's the
It
very
was
first
for
question,
you.
Kevin, you need to ask her. Why
And
did she
you know, we
get
had bids coming in,
Yeah.
keep calling, and it was just.
That would be the first question I'd
First,
want.
I want to know.
Where was this at?
Bubble wrap off.
Is this a real accident?
Yeah, I know.
No, I was
I
in
know.
training.
Oh.
Well, we saved like 14 layers of bubble wrap and put her in, so that's what we want to know where that went.
Right, should have been something.
I was in bunker gear, plus God gave me that cushion behind me. I want to know what happened to that.
You only take phone from a certain distance.
So I was in the hospital all last week.
I'm sorry.
Wow. You're gonna have to calm down your lifestyle a bit.
Yeah, here, we were gonna find you. You were at his meeting.
And you know that stinking storm
Yes.
last, on Friday? I'm driving my company car and a freaking tree falls in front of me.
Oh, you love some windshield time, don't you? How many miles do you put on in the first
Actually,
year?
I think it was Saturday, it was May 5th, I had my company car a whole entire month, and I put on over 3,600 miles.
Wow, wow. Well, you love some serious mileage, don't you?
I just changed the oil in the Escape just a little over a year. I had 3,200 miles on it.
You're like,
In a
"Hey,
year?"
that's not my truck. With my truck, I put 2,000 miles a year.
I was put 2,000, I put about 750 miles a year in my truck.
Fine.
You
Well,
need,
I know, it's probably got too far, almost up to 13 now.
You'd be better off just
That's it.
leasing, Joe.
Joe,
Yeah, I really would probably.
Yeah.
What?
I have better than 19,000 miles.
Oh, really?
on mine. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the truck, Kevin, no, I own it. It's 18 years old, so
That truck's 18 years old.
2,000.
Take good care of it.
Wow, I think.
yeah, but if it only has 2,500 miles on it.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, now, you
18.
got,
Okay.
Are we at the, what we had, is that
We-
month, right?
No,
It is 6:56.
That's what I have, is 6:56.
And we gotta
yes, well, yeah, that's what.
do our
All right,
intro.
Let's go to this, we'll wait till 7 then. That's our normal starting time. I'd like to get
I
started.
got, 19,000 miles, not doing all that.
Go, Walt.
did I?
How many
Well,
miles do you get
Do you
that?
I
not
have
like
an
my
unserious
For
answer.
Do you not like my coffee?
Where is
She's
it?
pretty
We had some left over.
He's not answering your question. See how he ducked that?
Tennessee was 7 miles.
Just bob and weave.
You had a long reach with that cane.
First I thought, well,
I don't have it
I
anymore.
stayed in
Let's
that
go.
Knoxville on my way.
You
to
got
Savannah.
carried
I got rid of the
anyway,
cane
yeah.
and broke my
Oh,
butt.
God.
They got just strangling with their.
Flew down
Did they give you a
Florida,
donut to sit on or something?
They do,
Sit
but
on?
it just doesn't work.
Did you break
Oh,
your
we
tail
got
on your
these.
center?
I broke it and
Well, it's for
it's displaced.
45 to Charlotte. From
When I
Charlotte
do
to
it, I
Athens,
do it
house
right,
is
yeah.
That's one then.
So
That's
that's 1,100
There
miles.
was one, I thought there was one below
They,
that.
you have, there's two of them. They're both broken.
Well, I just
They're-
split it
It's
up.
broken off.
I just remember, I just.
Does anybody know if Kathy's coming?
I haven't heard.
You know well?
No, I don't.
I have no idea.
We'll wait until, we'll give her 2 more minutes.
She didn't say anything about Wednesday if she was going, last Wednesday, did she was
June
She
brought
goes
her
day
up
by
that
day.
week, 'cause June was picked her up out there. She didn't drive, June drove her up, brought her up.
Well, we're a couple minutes early. Shall we go? Shall we call the meeting to order? I want to order. Oh, I guess we do,
Yeah,
I
flag,
forget the
flag.
ritual. Thanks.
Now, you wanna do that, roll call. Flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There. The spirit.
Love my country.
The only one we got.
Did you want to do roll call? Yeah, that's Go, Matt. You do that all.
President Paul Zupic,
Here.
Vice President Joe Adams,
Here.
Barbie Trent,
Here.
Kathy Oshel, Mayor Madalena, Kevin Swager,
Here.
Jack Root,
Yeah.
Calvin Glass.
Here. Everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
No,
Have not?
I never does that.
I can print you off a set if you need to. Start printing them off before the meetings.
You don't,
I don't think I have it done
I don't either. I have them on my computer.
Did you send that in the minute book? No, what did you send it?
Yeah, you sent the amendment, you,
Yeah, there was one amendment.
I made, yeah, I added a line.
April minutes, April, May.
I gotta get some work done for some reason, I don't want to see it. I can see
Really?
your email, but it won't give me any attachment.
Can't open it. Oh, that sucks. I don't know what's happening there. That's kind of interesting.
I use.
I went to,
I don't have
I went to
it.
Gmail on my phone. Just because I thought, we said.
You want to get them up, yeah, I'm sorry. Do you want to read them before we,
Because, I opened up Coalport.
unless you want to read them to them, I don't, whatever
I
works.
don't have a printed copy either. I can run a printed copy, it's not a problem.
Should print a copy, Jack doesn't have it.
Yeah, we should
Well, I
have
can
a
print a
printed
copy
copy every
even a
month.
couple days ahead of time. Like when I email it to you guys, I can run off a couple.
If he don't,
Anybody
him
wants to stop, pick up
him
the
and
paper
Kathy
copy.
doesn't have
Yeah.
that, so that they should be able to either get a copy dropped off or.
Even in my April minutes, I have nothing to open up to read.
There was one that went, when did you send the one with the amendment? That was,
Friday or Saturday, Friday, I think it was.
I know it was one.
I know you got it, you obviously.
Minute books, meeting, special
So we didn't have one
meeting.
here, because I don't use this.
Did you get a copy of the minutes? Kathy?
No, I did not.
You did not? I think what we found is email is not 100% reliable. You had that complaint before. He obviously.
You can, can't you
There's just
send
not a
in that
file,
you
I don't
get
have a
receipt-
PDF
you
file.
get a receipt back that it'll, like
I
when
don't
this,
know.
when
I don't
this,
know if you do that.
Here's the thing, it was sent twice. Angel sent you a copy, and then
You
I
sent-
sent a copy saying I added one sentence. You didn't get either of those? They're as attachments. I send you an email and I send
Okay,
attachments.
okay,
Health and can't open the
I wanted
attachments.
to send you all out a copy of the minutes from the April meeting. If you have any additions, comments, or questions, let me know. We'll get a finance report out as well, as soon as I have it finished.
That was mine.
That's
Okay,
hers.
now, okay, but as I open up, let me see, where's the ordinance book?
Your first one didn't have any
Didn't have the
attachments.
Right,
attachments.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just sent a second one.
Yeah,
And then Paul sent one on either Friday or Saturday with an addition to it.
okay, what date would that be?
Do you want to get him something to read while we're doing this? So everybody's at least read the minutes.
Can you make an extra?
Yes,
Yeah, see, I have no attachments, I have no PDF file with.
That's what you're getting, no PDF file at all, where you can get it and can't open?
Mine, I'll have my daughter look at it, 'cause she's the thing on the.
See, I usually
When I hit
send
it,
you
it says I don't have an
attachments.
app downloaded to allow me to.
That's sad.
No, I told them people today, Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi went out since Friday, and they finally fixed it today.
That's what Noel said.
I told her, I said,
Okay, this
I
is, that's
told her
her,
one more
she
day, I said,
failed,
I don't
she
care
forgot
what
it,
you're
and I
doing.
sent her an email, then you should have got
She
one
said,
from
"I'll have
me
to pay for one of the black
afterwards.
boxes."
What's this, it says,
Yeah.
oh, that looks like me.
I didn't even think Comcast here even offered Wi-Fi, do they?
I don't know, I'm gonna find one.
I know up in Madeira they do, because it's,
No,
Up the top spots.
I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on
Needless to
there.
say, after I said I will find another one, because she said about paying for the box, then I will.
Okay.
I'd like to
There's
see
something
about
right there,
Xfinity, so I
but
can
that's
access
document
the
That's
work
that
computer
Ford
and where I'm
20.
at.
Obviously, some of the attachments, where
Hey,
it just
Joe,
says draft.
Did
have
your
the
wife
right
give you the
one.
message?
about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Late, they'll move up here late tomorrow, and then,
See, she
And then
sent a
Wednesday.
second one that
Yeah.
had the attachment.
He stopped down,
And
I was out
I
the porch and he
simply
stopped down,
added
Mike
one
that
Cook.
sentence.
like,
Yeah,
So you need the minutes
but
too.
at least we know.
yeah.
But that's the
So
only
let's
thing
give
you told
everybody
her,
a
isn't
chance
it?
to read
Yeah.
the minutes then.
All right.
I didn't tell her the secret though,
Which one?
Joe. I can't tell you, it's secret.
I'm telling,
Okay, did I tell you?
I'll just make it up as I go along.
Oh, okay.
You have the- you have the-
That's how I did it.
Only me and Walt.
Yeah, I did it that way. I made it up.
Now, I thought I said, there was one where I sent only the minutes and the agenda, but I thought I sent all three on one of those emails. And she
Let me
said-
see, there's the, agenda.
Right, that one was from Angel, and it did not have, she didn't have the attachment. I have them, so I'm okay here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and the special meeting,
Yeah, I don't know what's up with some of this.
that's just the
From
fourth
what,
one.
I've been bombarded.
Thank you, Angel.
No, I don't,
do that.
listen, buddy, that's not a
We put
problem.
the
Yeah,
copier,
just-
I
wasn't
mean,
it?
that's why I have emails.
Right,
to
I don't
communicate.
know why.
That's a
we're
new
not-
one. Oh,
There
yeah,
is
that's
a
right.
way.
You
I'm
got
not
the
sure how you
attachments,
do it.
right?
Yes, there's a way you can do it. When you send it to each person, when they go to open it, it'll bring a little box up that says you've received it, and you click it, then it sends like a receipt to you that that person has got it. Because when this Owens sent this paperwork to me, I had to click a box to open so that it continued through, and that sent him a message back that I received it.
I'll look at my settings.
I'm not,
and see
there is a
what's
way
there.
to do it, but I'm not really that great at it.
If you have Outlook.
That's what I use Outlook, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, the
I have
Outlook
Express, but I don't know which number it is.
Yeah, Outlook Express, I don't think has that.
Did she,
You sure?
all right, give everybody a chance. Read the minutes.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Thank you. Were you gonna do that? Huh? Was you gonna do that? I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
We'll have to figure this out, what's happening here, so we'll have to get back on track.
to have no. Take care of myself.
In the future, if you don't get the minutes and get everything that's required, email Angel. Yeah, that'll keep us moving along.
Yeah, he does start.
Everybody- Everybody read the minutes? Are we ready to,
Yeah, he's reading them right
still reading? Everybody's okay? Right, I need a motion then, unless there's any problems with this.
Happy to.
Anybody?
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That takes us down to the finance report. I think I mentioned there's a couple things should catch your eye. Let's start on the income side first.
Sorry, on the income side first?
Yes.
Talk revenue, did you say?
Yes, revenue. Yeah, revenue, income, whatever. So there's at least one thing there that should catch your eye.
Mine was permit, that's way up, so to sell property.
Yeah.
They've generated, and their income tax, of course, they come up because of people paying.
Were you looking at year to date? What were you looking at? Fines and permits? Is that what you said? We got 141 this month. 3,000. That's what, 3 was the tolls, right? The insurance claim or something. But there's,
That's coming April, there's no.
that's an interesting one there.
Yeah.
I assume it's because she's in jail?
I'm not exactly sure.
She's not in jail, I don't.
Sometimes it'll come in late.
Okay.
That
All right,
might
so
be the case.
So 2 of them could show up next month.
Yeah, next
probably.
month, you know, at the
Okay.
beginning of this month, we might get
Well,
2.
Okay,
So,
if she misses, do we have procedures or something?
yeah, if she misses again, then I can call the parole officer, or if we don't
Okay.
get one within a week or so, I can definitely call. But yeah, we didn't
Okay.
get it last month, but we'll probably, I would say, get it this week.
Okay, I get a question about that, you answered.
What's that come in under for her?
Restitution,
Oh, that just.
That's her own.
Plain
Yes.
restitution.
That's her
Yes.
only.
She has her own line item on our budget.
Just to make it easier for you guys, I separated it from the regular fines.
Nobody, so I'll just tell you here, if you look at realty transfer,
Transfer, yeah.
see that, Kevin? Yeah, no. Angel, it has here for the month of April.
Oh, I see that.
It's $335. Now, here's the part that's confusing me a little
Yeah.
bit. When on your spreadsheet, if you would be entering numbers, it should be changing the year-to-date column
Yeah.
automatically. So my question is, how does this happen? If there's any, is something malfunctioning there?
It might have, let me add this up real quick. Something-
Because you know what I mean,
Yeah,
the year-to-date.
And whatever, come up with $11.27.
No, so it should be $346.
It should be more than that, because I believe you sold some property sold earlier in the year as well.
Okay, so you're saying that whole line is,
That line has something wrong with it, and I'll really have to get in before I can look at it, but yeah, that line.
okay, that's just affecting our income, that's not what we're approving anyway, but you'll fix that for us?
Yes.
Fire us off an email or
Yes, I will
something,
get
let us know what that is.
I will get that fixed.
Okay, so let's go to sheet number 2, and now we're on the expenditure side. And there's actually 2 things that catch my eye.
association expenses.
Well, streetlights bounced back up again.
It did, and you know, if you do a little math on the year-to-date one there, it looks like we're running between 11 and 12,000 instead of 9, unless they drop off in the summer months.
I can't believe they're going to.
We gotta do
They're
something.
they're on that.
You see,
Well,
I mean,
be
just do
honestly,
some,
the longer your summer goes, the less they're on, really.
Right.
you
well,
know.
that's, so it should go down, that was my point, so,
Should, but a lot of times you don't.
I mean, if you
Don't go
just,
down that much.
we're a third of the way through the year, so if you multiply that by 3, you're more like 11,000 than 9,000. So it's like we're gonna be over budget there.
Your May, June, and July are your most daylight months.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, so you
So
hope that they're
therefore-
gonna drop off.
They should drop off, right, but the bill we paid now would be the one we paid in April, which would be for March, which is still in the dark season.
Yes, we're back up to $900. It's not our worst one, we had that one for $1,600.
Did they ever come, I thought somebody from
They-
Penn Life was supposed to come by.
Somebody was supposed to, and it yielded nothing,
No,
right?
you'll
And the
not.
number that she gave me a number, it's a 768 number, which goes to Clearfield. And I've left the guy a message 2 days a week for the last 3.5 weeks.
And nothing in return.
Never
That's
returned,
ridiculous.
never returned.
I wonder who, if there's a higher up that we can contact to say, listen, you know,
We have to do something here. Here's one, we talked about this before, is disconnecting some of them. Just do a little test, for example. So suppose you strategically figured ones that aren't in front of a business, if you shut half of them off. Do you know how to do that, Joe?
Yeah, I have to pull,
Yeah. At some point, when your schedule permits, do you want to do that? Just so we can see how much, we can't afford $9,000.
What do you want to do, say like 10 per side or something like that?
Whatever, you wouldn't want to darken them in front of somebody's
No.
business, so if you could say like in front of the 5 and dime, you could knock those out, for example. Just, we gotta try something here. There you go, that's the one, more than double.
yeah, dude.
It's up to $134, right? That's the one I,
That's a good question.
yeah, that's,
And from $60.
Who is
well,
our,
it went up
who is our
$74.
garbage supplier?
Hugel is our garbage supplier.
They didn't start dumping the one at the park, did they?
No, not yet. They don't start that, I think, until the park actually opens.
Still should only be
can
120.
you get us answers? Do you?
That should
I
still
can
only
get us
be
the answers, I can't
260s be 120.
right now, but
All
I
right.
can get you answers,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
I
so
didn't want to
those things that she mentioned, she's going to follow up and
Yes.
let us know what's happening there. In the meantime, shall we approve the bills for the month of,
Back to the electric. Apparently, it was estimated the month before at 224, and then misread.
I think we figured something else happened there, did we not? Didn't we figure that you ended up with 2 big bills in one month?
Yeah,
And then
at
it
one
didn't
point.
show up in the next
Yeah,
month, so
it
it
did
wasn't
show
an
up.
estimating error. Now, I don't know, do you have will you change to a smart meter here? I was, they
Yes,
no longer,
there's one here. But this bill, the bill
they don't
for,
read it anymore.
the bill for here is up to $80 for
Yeah.
just here.
The bill for here did
It
go up.
went from 286.07 to 361.83 for just here.
So what's happening there, I guess, is, we have to obviously pay it, but right now, we have a whole lot of balls in the air, as Calvin said, a
I
lot of
would-
weight in the wheelbarrow.
We have to look on the bill, but you'll probably, I noticed that there was an increase in the kilowatt price per kilowatt hour.
Mine went down.
Yeah, we
Mine
can
was
always switch
mine
to
was
a.
6.15 and it's down to 5.92 or 5.93.
We're
My
paying-
house did, but my store went up.
Really?
We're paying 8 cents a
Because
kilowatt
commercial.
hour. We can get that down just by changing providers down to 6,
The
which
wrong
isn't
side
gonna,
of the
isn't
street.
gonna make a significant difference here, but it will make a little bit of a difference. We got structural problems, something else is terribly wrong, but we're paying, particularly on the light bill, the street light bill. That's just a lot of
Now,
money.
the heating, the reason you see an increase in the heating, we went and we got several loads of coal on the bed.
Right, and that
So
one-
that's why that showed up that way.
Right, that one we get. But the garbage
Garbage doesn't
and the
have
electric
prices.
bills, I
No, I can actually answer your garbage. Now that I sat here, I can't answer your garbage. That was also, we still owed from when they had the cleanup. Not the one that they just had, but the one they had before there in the fall.
Okay.
They just now took out their check. I don't know why. They called, they said.
You mean,
Who is they?
It's the Clearfield County Solid Waste Authority. So they get paid when they come and do cleanup and they take our tires away,
Okay.
we pay them.
That's not the same, that's not your
It's-
regular garbage
It's not your
hauler.
regular garbage,
All right.
but that was one I
Got
didn't
it.
know where else to put it.
That's fine.
So
That's
that's
fine.
in there as
That's
well.
fine, as long as you
Okay.
can tell
Yes.
us what that is.
That's like for, we already got the bill for the April one.
Yes.
And it was 71.
I
Yeah.
think it was, yeah, so.
So we can.
So that one was in with, yeah, that's that
That
one.
Okay, now.
I didn't know
So
that
that
was,
one's
with,
good.
that's
Yeah.
probably what,
Yeah.
that's what.
So that one's fine, that's not on people's end, that's just,
Okay, so for the month, we spent $7,474.98. And those are the bills, so I need a motion to approve the bills for the month of April for $7,474.98.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bill.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Everybody in favor? And that takes us down to amend ordinance 194, Article 4, paragraph. And we're adding, I'll just let you take over right from there. I would just want to read first what we are adding. It's just one sentence.
Okay, you want me, what we're adding?
Yeah, just
Okay,
so we
under
all-
vehicles, we will be adding, junk vehicles means a motor vehicle or trailer which is partially dismantled, unused, unusable, or wrecked and which cannot safely or illegally be operated on the streets or highways of this borough or commonwealth. Currently registered, inspected, and insured vehicles shall not be included within this definition.
That's what we're adding. That does not exist on the present one. Go ahead, would you read that whole thing for us? I'm sorry to make you do that.
That's
the
fine.
game.
420.01 purpose. Littered, neglected, or blighted properties are costly problems that contribute to the deterioration of property values and general disorder in the community. These properties degrade the physical appearance of the borough, which reduces businesses and tax revenue and inhibits economic development. Quality of life and community pride of Coalport residents are negatively affected. Recognizing these are community problems, the purpose of this ordinance is to promote the health, safety, and general welfare of the borough by helping to create a clean environment for our citizens. 420.02 Maintenance of exterior property areas. A, sanitation. All exterior property areas shall be maintained in a clean, safe, and sanitary condition, free from any accumulation of rubbish or garbage. It shall be unlawful to accumulate items such as furniture, durable goods, refrigerators, washers, dryers, etc. Small appliances, carpets, tires, vehicles, vehicle parts, automotive products, and multiple municipal waste, hazardous waste, residue waste, or construction of demolition debris on the exterior of its property if it poses a threat to the physical appearance, safety, or public health in the community, or if their presence creates a potential for public nuisance. B, insect and rat control. An owner of a property shall be responsible for the extermination of insects, rats, vermin, or other pests in all exterior areas of the premises, except that the occupants shall be responsible for such extermination of exterior areas of a single-family dwelling. C, weeds. 1. A lot shall be maintained free from weeds or plant growth in excess of 10 inches. This does not include trees, shrubs, cultivated flowers, and gardens. 2. It shall be unlawful to permit grass, weeds, or plant growth to exceed 10 inches in height in the tree well, sidewalks, curb line, or planter strip. It shall be the owner's duty to cut the grass or weeds to prevent such growth. 3. No owner of real property shall permit vegetation on the property to grow in such a manner as to create a public nuisance. D. Public nuisance. All exterior property shall be maintained in such a manner so as not to constitute a public nuisance. E. Vehicles, no junk or abandoned vehicles shall be parked on any property within borough. 420.
Okay, hold it. That's where your amendment should be right there, right?
Yes, the
Go ahead.
amendment is the junk vehicle means a motor vehicle or trailer which is partially dismantled, unused, unusable, or wrecked, and which cannot safely or legally be operated on the streets or highways of this borough or Commonwealth. Currently registered, inspected, and insured vehicles should not be included within this definition. 420.98, severability. If any provision, paragraph, word, section, or subsection of this article is invalidated by any court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining provisions, paragraphs, words, sections, or subsections shall not be affected and shall remain in effect. 420.99, enforcement and penalties. A, enforcement. The code enforcement official shall enforce all provisions of this article and is authorized to enter any exterior property area at any reasonable time for the purpose of making inspections and performing duties under this chapter. He shall issue a notice of violation to the owner and or persons responsible. It will identify the property, list all violations, provide recommendations, and allow a reasonable time to bring the property into compliance. If the property is not brought into compliance, a citation will be issued. B, penalty. Violation of any provision of this article shall be subject to a $100 fine plus cost, or in default of payment of fines and costs, imprisonment for not more than 10 days. Each day that a violation continues to due notice has been served in accordance with the term and provisions hereof may constitute a separate offense. C, borough permitted to correct violations. If the violations continue, the borough may, after providing 20 days prior written notice, correct the violation at the borough's expense. All costs plus a $300 administration fee shall be charged to the owner and shall constitute a municipal lien against the property upon which said cost and fees were incurred. For nuisance abatements in excess of $2,000, the administration fee shall be 15% of the actual cost incurred, including labor and materials supplied by the borough or its contractors.
Thank you. At this point, we need a motion to accept the amendment. I'm happy. Go ahead. More discussion?
No. I'll second it then.
Okay. Did you want to do a roll call vote on this one?
That's up to you. If you
I
want to.
would. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. President Paul Zupish,
Yes.
Vice President Joe Adam,
Yes.
Barbie Trent,
Yes.
Kathy Ostrel, Kevin Slaughter,
Yes.
Jack Rope,
Yeah.
Calvin Glass.
Yes.
I have a question.
Fire away.
And it would be just like, I guess, like, speaking of neighbors, say they rent the property, they own the house, so they own the trailer, but the property is owned by someone
Right,
else.
same situation I have, right?
Who will be getting the fine?
I think first you try to go after the tenant, the person who lives there. I think wasn't that described somewhere? Not.
I thought it was the
Somewhere.
property owner.
I
I think the property owner
It
is
might be.
responsible for having the tenants.
Yeah, especially, I guess, because they're the ones who are making the money off of the rent.
You just read that, was that not in there anywhere?
I don't know, I was
Yeah, I think it did say.
concentrating on getting the words right.
You think, let's just look at it right now since you brought that up. Thought that it said something. Would that be all right with you? We just delayed your question until Wednesday.
Oh, I'm fine, I just wanted to make sure
It
that.
depends what we have in our ordinances. To go after the rental.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Property
what I
owner
thought.
have to go after the renter.
Somewhere in this ordinance that issue is addressed.
Oh, dear God.
It says here, he shall issue a notice of violation to the owner or persons responsible. It will, so the persons responsible could easily be the tenant.
Right.
You know, so I would think you'd go after the tenant first because they're creating the mess. And if that doesn't work, I think you probably have no choice. But we should be able to, I'd go after the tenant just because they're doing it.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
was just wanting to make sure.
Because it says, or persons responsible, I think that would be the out there. If all else fails. All right, we just, I'll sign that before we leave. You'll get that to the mayor.
Yeah, we'll get it to her.
And then there's some funny, quirky stuff in the law. She has 10 days. If she does nothing, basically it's enacted anyway. It goes over her head. She has a chance to say she's opposed to this. And that takes us to something that's actually not on the agenda, and I think I sent you all an email. And you all know this topic. Our ordinances, you can't follow. You don't know what's in effect, and you don't know what's repealed. We just keep putting ordinances into a book, and everything just gets lost. Just go over it. This 194 we discussed was put in the book improperly. It's according to it. It says here, one book form copy of the codified ordinances shall be certified and made part of the ordinance record. We glued them in page by page. That makes it dysfunctional. There's no point in doing a codification if you're going to glue them in. So
What do you mean that?
they are literally glued. They took a book. I guess you weren't here to see this. They have a book with numbered pages, and they glued page 1, page 2. So now when we amend this 420, you either have to put it in the end somewhere else, the next open
Or you
page.
have to move every page you'll be on.
Yeah, which defeats the purpose of codification. You just undid. You know what I mean? What they're doing here makes no sense, so we have to fix that. We've got a way out here. I had to have some correspondence with the attorney, and he and I were miscommunicating by email, but finally I had to get some stuff. But first, I just read you the one thing I read you right now, one book form copy of codified ordinances. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is right from 194. And then it said the codified ordinance, the same thing in 194. The codified ordinances may be amended or supplemented at any time. When an amendment or supplement is adopted, it shall be incorporated into the codified ordinance for the reasons we mentioned. So 420 would go, if we added this, would stay in 420. It wouldn't go to the end. You know, then nobody can find anything. That's the problem we've had here forever. Nobody can find anything. So the attorney did find us a way out here. Now, I'm not going to read his whole letter, but I'm going to read what he said. He said, I would recommend some sort of system to keep track of what ordinances have been repealed. But he doesn't want us to take anything out of that ordinance book. So one way you could do it is to stamp repealed on it. But this ordinance book, I'm going to go down here. Let's see. Let's stick with the attorney first. Here's his way out. If council chooses to adopt a new ordinance book, now he's not talking about replacement here. When we were talking at the last meeting, you missed that, Barbie. We talked about replacement. I got to get off my tangent a little bit. It does not help us out because we have to copy every single ordinance from the book that we're replacing. So we'll be in the same mess. So what he said, if council chooses to adopt a new ordinance book, and what he's talking about is a new method of doing it. He said, I have seen quite a few boroughs and townships just go to a 3-ring binder, which will work. He said it relieves some of the worries of the bindings in these old ordinance books falling apart. It looks clean with 3-hole punches, and council doesn't have to worry about glue drying out, potentially losing pages of the ordinance book. So, something missing here. I also wanted to read. I want to read something right from the Borough Code. So let me find that. So anyway, we'll go to it makes sense. What I want to do with the 3-ring binder is have an ordinance book just of active ordinances. Get rid of the stuff that's been repealed, so a citizen and us, anybody can come in here to see what ordinances are active. You can't do that right now. Let me see now if I can just find something. Whoops. Along with the Borough Code, just read something. Okay, what we want to read here now is proof. There's a whole chapter on ordinances here. I'm sorry to go through all this. This isn't a lot. I'm going to read a couple of sentences. It says, all ordinances may be proved by the certificate of the Borough Secretary under the corporate seal. So she signs it. She signs it with her seal. Now here I'm going to read one more sentence here. And it says, the entry of the borough ordinance in the ordinance book shall be sufficient without the signature of the president of council, of the mayor. And what that means, now they're talking about a copy, because I have to sign the original. So we'll sign the original, and we will keep the originals in that file. We can't get rid of any of them, so we have to keep it in that file. So then we will copy this 3-ring binder. She will sign with her seal. That authenticates it that this is an actual, what's the word? It's an attested ordinance. Yeah. So we'll put that in the 3-ring binder. It will only have active ordinances, because we have to keep track of the repeal. I mean, nobody knows what's repealed and what isn't. We did the codification. The purpose was to repeal almost everything else, so everything is organized and logical and figured out.
So we
then we undid it.
Repealed, what we changed.
Yes, and we pretty much, so the work that we did here, we've actually identified most of the ordinances that are in effect. And so we'll put all of them in the 3-ring binder. This will be some work for you. I'll have to go through each one of those. Now here, back to the main one. What happens if this codified ordinance is, what, 20 pages long? Can you put, if you were to put that whole thing in your seal at one time, what happens? Would it do nothing to the intermediate?
It would probably only do the first.
Okay, I just wonder. I'm
You
just
can do
curious.
3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4
So you're
at a
gonna have
time,
to-
but that's about it. You're not going to do all of them.
Okay, so you're going to have to do
Yeah.
and sign your name and all of that. And then when we put this one that we just did, we'll take out 420 and we will put this 420 in, and you will take it. Now also something else, I sent you that stuff, some other stuff we want to do in that original book that we're talking about. We want to glue the statement from the paper. What's the ad? She had to run this in the paper. We want to attach that right to the ordinance, just for efficiency. So otherwise, she has to look in 2 places. Somebody wants to see the ordinance, and she has to go somewhere else.
In other words, when it runs in the paper,
yes,
you have the slip from it that goes right with that particular.
Yes, so the original, what I sign here and what the mayor signs, you will keep that in that regular book, attach the ad right to it, and then we will have a second book, and you will also attest to the accuracy of those ads, and they will just be in effect ordinances. Nothing that's repealed, none of that 1 year, the tax stuff won't be in there except maybe for the current year.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice and neat and functional, and people can use it. It doesn't make sense to have an ordinance book that nobody can use. To me, it does. Any questions? I lose you throughout all that garbage. Didn't mean to make that so long, but I'm not exactly sure what we have to do here. I think if we just make a motion to go to this 3-ring binder, we don't have to go through all the garbage that I thought we had. We're not doing a replacement. We're just changing methods here. So I think I need a motion to go to the 3-ring binder. She will record.
Yeah, you made a motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All of us unanimous? All right. Now that takes care of that. That takes us down to amend the personnel policy to include drug testing. I have the one, it's just one sentence. We don't have to do anything elaborate here. In pre-employment medical exam, it says this. It says the borough supervisor may determine that employment is contingent upon successful completion of a medical examination, and I wrote, which may include drug testing. Later on in this, it says, suppose you wanted to give a current employee a drug test. I think that is covered in the section. We use the federal law stuff. even if we didn't put it in there, we quoted. So you have the right to do that anytime, and there's some other stuff that you're covered here if you need to, if you have that problem. So anyway, I need a motion to add those 5 words, which may include drug testing. And you know where this is going, you can put that in. Need a motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All, you got that? Yeah. Okay. All right, and then the other thing, I'm not sure we have to do anything here. That takes us down to change insurance to Teeter Group. The last time, we made a motion to give you guys, all we're saying here is, we've conclusively decided, I believe, we take a vote on that we are changing all of our insurance to Teeter Group, and that will start very soon as the fireman's insurance expires.
Did we actually get a quote from them of any type at all?
No,
Not yet. I
real.
did talk to him today. I told him that, we were having our meeting tonight, and then I would email him tomorrow and kind of let him know how it went. He had a couple more questions I answered, just on the workman's comp. I forget what his other question was. I answered those for him, and that was all he needed.
And here's what he said. Some of the things he couldn't quote us on the firemen, for example, and the other stuff, after you had the second guy come, he said these premiums aren't too bad. Now, we had a lot of extra stuff, but if you just had the right stuff left, we're not actually overpaying too much.
Right.
But I thought that he should be rewarded for his efforts here. He came here twice, and it seems like we had a lot of stuff we shouldn't have
Well,
had.
he came more prepared to present what we needed presented also.
So let's just, this is,
Get a hold of too.
yeah.
Do you think we should wait till we get the,
We should do a quote first.
I say we get the quote first.
Also, I have a question that nobody's been able to answer. Why is one insurance company going by population and the other one going by
Well, let me
altitude?
tell you, that's an interesting question. They're both using the same insurance company. They're both using EMC. And so I looked this stuff up. And here's what I found is, since they don't have a wage, they're volunteers, so you take the average income of the area. That's where, if they're hurt, that's what they get. But it still comes down, they talked about the number of people that you have. Obviously, if you have fewer active, you're going to pay less. But they even talked about getting rid of people that are not physically fit or too old to reduce your insurances, because those people are more likely to get injured. So they wanted, for the stuff I read, they wanted the fire company to keep lean, mean, young people.
Well,
To keep your costs, the chance of a
one
claim
thing,
lower.
one thing if they do, you don't see me down there rolling toast.
Yeah, no, I'm just making a, I'm just telling you what I read. I'm
What
not
goes on
going down there to
is
say
a lot of
this.
times, like during the day, they need somebody to get the apparatus to the fire and to be able to run the pump. Then they do have enough guys to haul the hose and do the firefighting. But somebody still has to be able to get the truck there and run the pump.
Right, but back to your initial question, it only makes logical sense. If you're insuring 100 people, it's going to cost you more than if you're insuring 30. Because there's just a greater number of things can go wrong.
Now, but I know what Josh talked about. It went per capita before. Now it's going to go by.
No, it goes per
by-
capita to determine the
Oh,
wage that they
the rate.
get.
The rate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, how much,
Well,
since they
and
have
how
no
did-
salary, you give them the average salary of this area.
Okay.
So it's for that.
Well, then
I
how
hate
did
to say it, they're not going to get too much.
No, they're probably not going to get too much. Probably not.
How did the current insurance we have now? How did he
Well,
insurance?
he's
How
not-
did he come up with a number? I wonder.
He doesn't give us any information. He doesn't even, I wanted to ask you on a follow-up here on some of this
You've
other
done
stuff.
2 or 3 times you
Yeah,
contacted
I've
these
emailed
numbers.
him, if he sends an answer at all, it's just kind of a runaround that doesn't really answer anything. He did stop up on Thursday to ask if we wanted to renew the bond for Mr. Winslow.
What?
Yes. And I said no, but we did get papers today that if we just decide we changed our mind, we can do so. I'm not sure
What do you
if
think,
it's,
Paul?
I'm not sure if maybe they usually keep the one for a year after just to kind of cover themselves.
That
I'm
doesn't
not
make
sure,
sense.
But
It doesn't even make sense to me.
that was
I've had some experience in that area.
that
It
was the
worked like
last that I had heard from
That was
Mr.
that
Duker.
was really. I got really odd.
Well, and we're still
Yeah,
not
that
properly insured as
blows
far
my
as we
mind.
know for you two.
Yeah, as far as I know,
And-
it's still not.
he knows everybody in the area is what seems really odd with that part to me, you know. That's just, that was kind of over the top to me.
It was an odd phone call.
I just think it's
kind of thought.
good that the papers like
I really would like to see some type of a price. I
Well, he
understand,
pretty much
I understand
guaranteed
he's
us-
gonna give us what we need.
Yes, he pretty much said it's not going to be any higher.
Well,
You know,
I'm sure
but
there's
all
no
he said
price.
is he said these premiums aren't too bad.
Mhm.
You know, now the
Right.
fire company, he wasn't sure about that one, since he had no way he needed to
But
know
we're
how
not
many
gonna,
active.
we shouldn't be, we're not gonna have terrorist insurance, we're not
Well,
gonna be down.
okay, we're gonna find this out very soon, right, with the fire.
Sure.
We're gonna see if his rate is competitive.
Yeah, the way I understand, he's getting some stuff together. He had a couple,
And the
Right.
other
Visual
advantage we have, even though this is through EMC, that'll be the same insurance company, we will receive a dividend at the end of the year that we do not receive presently.
In other words, at the end of the year, we have no claims or anything turned in. It almost reminds you of the Allstate reward program, like at the
Well,
end of the
I
year, you'll
think it
receive
also had to do with-
$100 or $200 back.
The workman's comp for years has been, but it's been doing an audit, and, now, there was,
agreed.
if the audit matches what your quote was to begin with, you're okay. If it's under that, there's a refund. I mean, that's been that way as long as I can
We're not
remember.
talking about a refund here. This would be more like a company that earns a profit would be sharing those profits with the policyholder. So he referred to it as a dividend. You can go to their site. Actually, what they pay out is quite substantial. It can reduce the entire cost of your insurance. So even if we get it exactly penny per penny for our premiums at the end of the year, if that company is profitable, it's like a mutual fund or a mutual-owned company.
Yeah.
Where they split since there's no shareholders, they give the profits to the policyholders.
Okay, well then, you have to look at another side of the fence. If they have a deficit, which is charged more.
No, we won't be charged anymore. You'll be charged just the premiums that you're charged. That's not how a company works. I've been a shareholder for a long, long time. If a company loses money, they never ask me to give them money back. I just don't get as much cash. I mean, not get the dividend. So he's saying if they have profits that they can give out, we will get some of those profits. And you can go to their website. I do not have. Do you have his card? He gave us
I have
a
his card in my
printout
office,
and some
but-
paper. You can get online and you can look and see what the dividends were that they have given out to their policyholders. It's pretty significant. So it has a chance of reducing our costs quite a bit. I have a feeling most of us were more, you saw him, we all saw this guy, we all talked
Yeah.
to Joe. I think we were all pretty pleased with him compared to our previous experience.
Before you actually pull the trigger though, I'd like to see, I'd
Well,
like
you
to,
guys
I'd
had
like
that-
to see,
we
I'd
gave
like
you-
to see a quote, you know what I mean, that
Well,
way.
yeah, we gave you guys the authority to do
Go
that
ahead
the
and do
next
that.
time, the last time, so.
Well, he should.
You see- we'll see what happens.
We see something that way,
Yeah,
we'll see it before we
right,
actually.
right, if it doubles, we're not gonna take it.
Right.
But he felt pretty clear. Anyway, you have regular correspondence with
Yeah.
him. and
You know,
Yes.
You can keep us
even
posted,
if
so they won't do
even if
anything
it's
there.
off, even if it's off a little bit, we still have to end up with the right bonds, though.
Yes, we don't have the right insurance with it.
We don't
Where
have the
we are
right
now.
bonds,
Right,
yeah,
we
and those ones we
still-
have right now is pretty much worthless.
It is worthless. It's wasting us money, and I don't know, we need a fidelity bond.
Yeah.
So somebody should deal with that issue. I mean, we're still paying, right, on these surety bonds?
Well, you pay those when you do them, and then, you only pay them once for the year.
So it's done.
It's done for this year. We
But
haven't
we
done anything
don't-
for the next year.
We're still improperly insured
Yes.
for employee theft. Well, I have lots of problems. I think you all know my vote.
That would
I'm
be,
for
the only
changing
way
it.
I could see it would be as something like what Angel said. If he thinks you had something
That you might catch.
that come up in the past,
But
that you just show up in the
But
future.
that would have been
covered.
on the bond of that year.
Yeah.
If he stole
Yeah,
something in
yeah.
215 and he was insured for 215, it would be under
Right,
that policy.
It doesn't make any sense.
None of this stuff makes sense here, nothing. I feel we've been done a disservice here in many
I was slightly
respects.
confused when I got the phone call. I was kind of like,
Well, she was kind of floored, really.
yeah, a
Well,
little
let me
bit.
ask you about some of this stuff, this commandeered auto and all that, PIP, uninsured,
Yeah.
did he respond to any of that? We wanted to drop that
As you
additional coverage.
as you were making, you know, we wanted to drop this, we wanted to drop that, I would easily send him an email and say, hey, they talked about this at a workshop, they don't think this is necessary, you know, and he would say, okay, taking care of it.
You never get you never see any
I
result.
don't know if it's taken care of. I don't know if there's like a paper I should be getting for it.
I would think.
He never mentioned it when he was here.
I mean, somebody should owe us some money, in
Yeah.
my mind, right? I mean, you should be getting a rebate here.
When he came to get me to sign off on Mr. Winslow's bond, he didn't bring up any of those changes, but at the time I was kind of like, just gonna sign this
That,
and get this handled.
okay.
Was that today?
It was Thursday.
Oh, that was Thursday he did that.
Okay, well, you've taken us right into the next area on the agenda, which is the workers' comp updates.
Yeah, and you had some questions about that too, because you thought it looked like it was getting close to, like, obviously, it's 1,328 has been paid, and we only pay like 1,800 for that, and I can answer that for you. It is because it renews in like, I think July, so it is almost paid out for the year.
No, again, we're not automatically renewing.
No, we're not
That's clear.
automatically, we're absolutely not automatically renewing, but that's why you're close to having it paid for the year so early in the year, because it
Because it's
doesn't.
not on a calendar year.
No, it's gonna be up in, I think, June, July.
Got it, all right.
But to enlighten a little bit, I can understand why it's still the same insurance company. There's only two insurance companies in the state of Pennsylvania. It's,
You don't have a lot of options.
no. No.
Yeah, almost everything will be with BMC. We'll stick with the same company, all we're doing is changing agents. Now, my question is, the money, we've been overcharged, something awful. Where did that money go?
What just kind of like what you're thinking. We're paid ahead, but let's say by a quarter, and then we take over with him, with Keith. Are we gonna get what portion we haven't used of that? Are we gonna receive that back?
Okay,
Sure.
now, the explanation that I understood in Wednesday night's meeting was, as it comes due, we will renew with this new gentleman,
Yes.
so there'll be no refund.
Well,
As it comes due,
okay, well,
No,
now,
wait a minute.
the workman's comp is gonna be coming due, but the other one, it doesn't take, it doesn't.
November 22nd.
Yeah.
Those, here's my, let's do it this way. Did we pay a bond for Mr. Winslow for 2018 for this
No.
year? Okay, I just wondered. That's
No,
what-
because he had passed away before his.
Okay, so he passed away at such a time that it had just expired.
Right.
But here, let's use this. We got rid of the truck and all of those things. That should give you money coming back in, because now you're overpaid. You paid more in premiums, and then you
Well,
canceled
dropped
all
the
this
building
stuff.
Other
Yeah,
than
yeah. What happens to
liability.
those money?
I can send an email or, never mind.
I mean, all the
I-
stuff we dropped, we should
Yeah.
be getting money back. He owes
Okay.
us money. We're overpaid now.
we do not pay in full, we pay monthly, so the monthly payment should drop.
I don't think it did. I will double check and I will see.
Where does it show up on?
Do we pay monthly or we pay
We pay-
Let me
quarterly?
see.
It's monthly on
Okay.
the workers' comp and stuff. But
This is-
one thing is we don't pay it through Dublers. We do pay that on EMC itself.
Right, pay direct, yeah.
Yeah, so we pay that direct. When you just go in, you just enter your account numbers and your zip code and it
For
brings it up.
which one?
For the workers' comp and
Oh, okay, well
insurance.
there, can you not then get on that site and find out how many firemen are insured?
In theory, I've poked around, I haven't been able to find it yet.
You
but I
can't
can-
find our declarations, our policy should be right there.
No, when you go to the site, it's just, there's not like a place to log in and actually see your policy, there's just like a little
Okay.
thing that you click pay, you just enter your account number, you enter your zip code, it tells you the amount you owe, you pay that, that's all you see.
Okay,
That's
I got it.
all I ever see. I don't even really get to see, like, card numbers or anything, it just says Northwest Bank, I click on that, if that's the right account, it's got the right last four numbers.
But the way firemen come and go, do you seriously have an accurate number, how many firemen
Yes.
you
I
actually?
think we
Yes.
do.
Yes.
You gotta give us specific.
No, we don't have an answer. This is the question right now. Under the present insurance, he's not counting the firemen that's insured. He's doing it by, what was the word there, Joe?
Usually what they done by per capita.
Per capita, right. Now, this gentleman wants to know how many active firemen that there is, active.
Okay.
My question is, why is one doing it one way and the other one's doing it the other way?
Well, here's what I know. One guy's really competent, the other one isn't. Based on our experience here, that's how I would, could you sum it up any differently than that? We've had both guys here. You agree? One guy didn't give us anything of value, and the other guy came here twice.
Which one's doing it one way, which way?
Joe wants to know how many firemen there are. His explanation is the more firemen you cover, the more it's going to cost you. To me, that makes sense.
I agree.
And the other guy, he hasn't been accurate on anything else, so I'm not inclined to believe him on this. I believe the guy that gives me good information, not the guy that gives me garbage time after time. That's been our experience. Have I summed that up? Maybe
Yeah,
I'm biased
pretty
there,
much.
but
I mean, we actually asked them to come back to enlighten us some more with questions that we had.
and just our experience with the insurance we've had. Look how much we've cut out of these policies.
Yeah.
That was
Do you
just
think
garbage.
what was cut off of you, we should have seen even a monthly rate?
I would think so.
I would think, by taking the trailer.
Isn't that the same
Building.
insurance that we had for the snow plow and they wouldn't cover it because it was
Yeah, yeah.
human error?
Yeah, yeah, same stuff.
That $400 alone's worth trying to find something different, because that's the only way you're gonna break a snow plow.
Yeah,
And I disagree with that.
Well, you didn't break it human error? Well, you
No.
did, but it bent, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
but-
blamed it on human error. I'm not saying human got it, but
well, yeah, what's
I
the other?
don't think-
What happened?
The problem is not human error. I have to sit up with guys.
that's what made it.
It's the fact of the manhole being that much higher than the road. And
That's
that's
what
all.
they blamed it on, it was human error. That's what I'm saying, the insurance company blamed it on, said they wouldn't cover it because of human error. Isn't that what we're
More or
told?
less,
No,
yeah.
that was actually the company that made the plow. They were gonna replace it if it was a malfunctioned piece, but when they seen the way that it was bent, that was from neglect or human error, if you say it, versus, a weld cracked because it wasn't welded properly. We'll just say something like that.
Thin steel. Thin.
Chinese.
What?
China still.
Wasn't
Four
material
inch.
better.
China.
Yeah.
Still, the
I ain't
insurance.
taking it
Because
away.
we have insurance on that didn't pay for it.
Right.
When I come to a
Right.
manhole, I
Yeah.
really slow
It's
down.
$500 deductible.
I know where it's at, I tap it and raise the blade.
What's the point then?
Not saying anything, I hit one.
Shall we move on? Now, let me give you an update here. We're down to reduce council to 5. Joe and I went to see the attorney, and at one point I said, if nobody supports this, I'm not going to push it. He said, you have to go to 5, just because, he said, with an electorate of 300, 7 is just too many. So basically, there's no competition. He's to call you this month, right? He had a big case or something.
Yeah,
He's working on it.
He's supposed to get a
20th or something like that.
Yeah, when he gets caught up, I think I gave him both numbers. I think I gave him the Borough and my
Yeah.
home number.
And he said, if I don't hear from you by the 20th or
I'll
22nd,
supposed to
you're
give
to
him a
call
call.
him. And then it's just a matter, he makes up a petition. We only need 15 signatures. He said, I'll put 30 lines on there. So get as many as you can. And he'll have this done before the next election. And it involves testifying. I'll have to go and testify before the judge, give the results, show that the last election was basically no competition. And he said that'll go fast, we'll have no trouble. And then we will reduce the number of councilmen at the next election. We'll go from 7 down to 5. That's pretty much where that is at. Any questions on that? Anything I can answer? That's where we're at. That takes us down to you, Barbie. You checked on the fire hydrant rental fees. Do you want to give us an...
I did. Basically, everybody pays the same amount of $75 a year per hydrant.
I wish it was just
Just 75, yes.
Right, really.
And we have how many?
We
28.
have, I believe, 28. Arvona does not pay that fee because they have their own, they're not part of the BCIMA.
$2,100.
They are their own.
Right.
They have their own water authority.
Same.
I think the township has, I didn't bring the paper with me because
I thought you told us that everybody paid 75. I thought
everybody
that's what
does
you
pay
said.
75.
They have
Everybody
different
pays
number
the
of-
same amount.
The
And,
township had like 33.
the
Just-
township
They really
has
didn't have
33.
that much more.
Yeah,
There's-
we have
there's-
28.
The township has 33, Glen Hope has,
It's like
8.
16.
Yeah,
More
Eight,
coal.
something like that, I think it was. 8 or 10.
Okay,
Yep.
hey, fight fire
They have
fire.
eight.
Yeah, so then,
I have
is there
to.
any problem with the fee?
I wanted to
That
go
comes
out.
to $6 a month per hydrant.
You're not aware of this, but due to oiling and detriment, we have reduced, I shouldn't say we, but I took it up before I was on the water board. We were paying $100 a hydrant,
Yeah, so it's,
and we got
somebody,
reduced to 75.
right, somebody told me that.
And to back up, the only reason we're paying is because the gentleman don't even live in the borough, shut his mouth off, and there was going to be no hydrant fee because we owned the hydrants when the water company took over. I'm talking,
So you don't like $75 a month? You think we're paying too much per hydrant?
I'm just trying to bring it up to how we got to where we are.
Okay.
When Smithfield County took the water system over, Coalport Borough had their own hydrants already paid for. When they put the new water lines through, now Tom Halls, because Reed Township was involved, the people up there in the township that served off of the town at the time, said that it wasn't fair for them to pay hydrant fee and nobody else to pay. So they decided to charge everybody $100 a hydrant. And we got reduced to 75 for everybody. But that's how the hydrant fees come about.
It's common for municipalities to have to pay a
Right.
hydrant fee.
But what I'm stating is, when Smithfield County took this water system
Right.
over, we owned the hydrant.
Right.
The borough owned the hydrant. It was already paid for. And
Well, I'm just getting right down to, do you have a problem with the $75 per
No.
hydrant? So,
I just wanted to tell you how we got to where we are.
so we can scratch that. We've looked at hydrants. We're satisfied with it. We pay the $75. We don't have to dig into that any further now. Okay. I think that brings us up to you, an Angel, Joe. You have some stuff for us on
Yeah, we only have two.
With 2 bids.
We have 2 bids.
comparable?
I've never
We
even
looked
looked at
at
either
them.
one of them.
Okay.
Never looked
All
at
right,
either one
when's
of
the
them.
day that you're supposed to open?
Today.
Today, so right now?
Yeah.
We're opening right,
Okay.
they never were touched till tonight.
Good,
We didn't do anything today.
Where are they from?
This one is from Quaker Sales, and they're out of Johnstown. They hand delivered theirs today. They were really nice to work for. And their bid price is $31,738.75 for the entire job. And I'll hand it over to you guys. Look at that. And the second bid came in from HRI. They're out of State College. And $232 even.
Now, I would like to compare it just to make sure they're both giving us exactly the same stuff here.
Well, that's something we're gonna have to sit down and go line item for line item to make sure that we're getting apples for apples.
Yes.
How about references? We get references from each,
I think HRI gets a bad
from,
reference from the borough, right?
well, from municipalities or anybody else using it, we gotta get some references.
I figured we'd have 10, maybe 15 really, for the amount
Yeah. That we sent
I
out.
even contacted some smaller companies,
Right.
you know, like A1 paving, some smaller ones.
Right.
Because I asked, first up I asked them, are you capable of doing like the streets in a municipality? Yes. I said, would you be interested? Yes. So we went down through all these ones.
Yes.
What was the amount on that one?
There's-
31, just kidding.
Didn't hear anything back.
That's a shame, that's too bad. Cause ours, yeah.
Special sales is what I've done. So HRI is too, you know, special sales does a lot of work in the timber town.
Just off the top of my head, they look the same. Wanna check it out?
They have a place in Barnesville. They have
Oh,
a
yes.
facility. Yeah.
219,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, the price is ballpark.
Their main
That's pretty much
office,
what we
when
thought.
you're going down 403,
It's a little on the low
that
side.
short curve with
Yeah.
Allied Van
This
Line
first,
sits right there.
Yeah.
There's a road that's right
Look the same to
to
you?
the Allied Van Line. There's a road that's just down over the hills, not so often down.
Yeah. It appears, just at a glance, it appears apples to apples. You'll have time, you know this better than I do.
We weren't gonna open, we were gonna open them tonight for the fact that then it's open right at the meeting.
Right,
Nobody can say
that's
anything
right.
about that part.
That
That's
is
why
good.
there was nothing to didn't review anything or look at anything that way,
Right.
so.
Yes, what they're guaranteeing us they're gonna do.
Same thing, right?
Same thing, just different part. Anybody else wanna see it?
You know, I like it. But that's Jock.
Yeah, you'll have time.
I'll look it over later. Well, they had a sheet to go off of from Sean. It was a sheet that he sends that says the amount of the material of it, like the amount of the material, what needs milled and that stuff. Then it's up to them to come up with what they have as far as quotes go.
That's just basically material.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the right to reject any and all bids?
Yeah.
They're milling it to curves, they're milling
So you
deeper
can
around the
look through all
manholes.
of this to see that they put all those things in there, so we
I'll
know,
walk
there'll be no
through that.
surprises,
The
right?
whole street is to be milled. It's not, I'm not saying we're taking this street way down. The idea of it is they're trying to take a lot of the high spots off, the humps and
Right,
high
right.
spots off before they would start with their binder coat, their original initial coat.
All right, then you feel comfortable going over these to see that.
Oh, yeah, as far as I have a pretty good idea what,
What's time frame? Did they give that? I guess at this point, they don't even.
No,
they're
we'd
running
have
the
to
No,
contract.
we're the ones with time frame. In other words, we notify them, receive the bid, and then Nelson Bass and tell us approximately when they'll do it.
well, Mike thinks we should put a cross drain down there on Railroad Street.
Well,
There's two there.
Like, well, he thinks we should put one there where this railroad here is down around and meets up with Bruce,
okay.
okay? There's water down there, and he thinks we should have something there that goes over and ties in to the side that goes down past Rudy's.
What do you think?
Excessive water, hard rains, probably. I mean, it's really excessive, like what we had over the weekend. No, it should handle it without any problem. That was just a more or less a normal rain we had. It didn't even bring Myers Run up because we have the ground, we need some soaking rain. And that never went up one little bit down there.
We have a frost drain on the upper side of Railroad, which has just been replaced.
Right.
Right.
It goes from, if you're going down the hill, it goes from right to left.
And what is, Mike saying, put one on the other side, across from it? Is that
No,
what you're saying, or
he
where's
wants
the-
to get down, where Railroad Street would come down.
Yeah. Show me where the drain is. I know where you're talking about, the one would be going down Spruce Street, would be on your right,
We
at
have
the top
one.
of Railroad, yes.
We have one here, we have one here. This will be Spruce. We're going down the hill. This was where Railroad would come down here. The office for Windstream building. He says we get a lot of water down this edge, down around, and this would be Dave's lot, or whatever you want to call it, where he keeps lines down. Down to here, Puddles here, goes down, and then crosses, and goes down into his property down that way. So what he'd like to see us do is where this comes down here, we we make a catch box, put it in there, take it across, the drain comes down this side, we would tie it in there and let it continue down.
There's already supposed to be a drain down this side, and there is a head wall down here.
I know.
There's supposed to be a
He
drain
said-
down.
He says this doesn't go down, it comes down and goes over. Back of Homer's to his, that's how he gets it in his cellar.
So what's he saying, the drain that's there?
Oh, I can't believe that.
I got just one question to that, because they'd have to check. But no more than 10 years ago, this was a ditch here.
Yeah.
And then this individual that owns it backfilled all this without putting any drainage in there. That's creating that problem, not the borough. Because the church, the Protestant church, actually, when they took away the bank at my place and all the water laid down there, they actually put drains and things into where the railroad bed was.
Yeah,
And
my
they
yard
put-
dried up.
Right, where this individual backfilled all that running water that used to be there and never put no drainage in.
Now, are you talking about where this area is here, where
Yes.
the stuff kept? Well, see, that's what I'm saying, the whole way along here, you always had that,
Ditch, and
Right.
it was backfilled by not the borough.
I know.
Okay.
How much?
I don't think it's it's another added expense that we can't afford.
Right, I know it's an added
And I'll say that,
expense.
because if you're gonna afford that, then I know a guy that lives on the right-hand side of Railroad Street that would just love to have one drain on his side of the road. Because all of them are on the upper side. But he doesn't complain because, hey, I'm the one that got the house on the lower side, that's my fault. All right?
I hear you.
Okay.
Here's my take on it. If we do for one, we're gonna have this whole entire room filled up with people who's going to say, you did it for him, why can't you do it for me? And we're not starting that ballgame, sorry.
I just
He
don't
can
think it's
afford to do it
expensive.
himself.
I mean, it'd be different if, there was all sorts of money out there. There was other than him, but they're the laundromat hasn't said a word, Rudy hasn't said a word.
As long as you figure that up from this, we can still continue water to run down between those guardrails.
Yeah,
The
I opened
places
up,
to run off.
I diverted 3 different places up there,
Well,
on that side.
That's just something we may end up have to make more that'll run down, because he has grass the whole way along there. And once it gets over into grass, water disperses when it gets over into it. It don't really flow like crazy. I just wanted to bring this to attention because you don't want to pave it and then cut it and redo it.
But,
Eliminate
we're
the
coming up
soil
to
by the
Fourth
guy.
Street.
We're staying
Raising
20
it
feet
3
away
times
from this
ditch and
intersection.
water to come
Below.
up around the
Below,
curve.
so that we can
We'll
do
go
those
that
two
way.
cross
It'll
drains.
just has a short
That's all.
job.
These
It won't
gentlemen
have
know
a chance
that.
to come out on the road.
These gentlemen
I
know
did
that because of
one heavy rain that I
of
was
the
out there.
situation with
I
wanting to
did
put
very
two
good.
cross drains
But no, I suppose we should deal with this now. Do you want to take the lowest, will it give him the authority to take the lowest bidder after he goes through the paperwork? See that we're talking apples to apples here? Is that what we want to do? Let's see.
whatever you guys wanna do, because,
You're going to look this over.
I'm
right?
gonna look this over, but we're gonna have a workshop Wednesday night, so.
Deal with it
I
then.
can bring my findings or whatever to the workshop if you would feel better that way.
We cannot make any.
No, we can't make a decision there,
Okay.
but do you want, better look through it. You wanna look at it good, because we don't have to take the lowest bidder, but I'm not saying take the other
Right,
bidder
right,
either.
right.
But I'm not saying take the higher bidder.
All right, let's look
Good.
We're
over,
gonna have
review
that
the
special
paperwork.
meeting sometime this month to sign papers for Jessica.
Right.
You could probably
Work.
approve one of those at that meeting as well.
Yeah, that's something that she also has she needs a special
that.
meeting for her. So it would only be that would only be an extra 5 minutes
Yeah.
to,
So
That's
if you
fine.
wanna discuss it at the workshop and then during the special meeting with Jessica, you could just.
Okay, I just want to know how time constrained we are here with, I don't want to lose
I
$30,000.
don't think we're strained out that much,
Okay.
because
Sean
I think they're
knows
gonna,
we
I think they're
intend to
gonna,
use it.
they have to work, they'll probably gotta work their way this way or however. They're gonna wanna be in this area. They're not gonna come just for that street unless they're doing something else within a certain area.
What are we looking at, 2-3 days do I down there?
Guy talked to today, two days. 2 days. Now, the only thing he asked would be, Railroad Street from the medical center out, we just block the traffic there. And the medical center traffic could probably go down and out through their parking lot. The ones that's there probably
Right.
could go that way. It would just save a lot of headache from there over if they didn't have to do anything with traffic and just could block that part off, and they could deal with the other ones, and the other ones wouldn't bother them that much. And I said, I don't see what there'd be a problem to block out, that part off there.
That railroad off up here, yeah.
So, we want,
Good, we're making progress.
you wanna go that way then?
Yes.
That will give it a good looking over and everything. I have any questions of either one of them, I can call either one of them, even
Okay.
if it's for a question.
All right.
And then, give you the findings, and if we have a special meeting, then we'll just put right in with it. No more than much, couldn't be take much more than 5 minutes.
I wouldn't think so.
Because we pretty much already went over everything that way.
After you read it, I may give it a quick look.
Sure.
Just
More than welcome
somebody
to.
do that. Not that I don't trust you. That takes us-
Could have used other
we use
fingers.
the timeline, yeah, down to sinkhole.
Could
We're
have
done with
used
that.
other fingers.
Paving.
You know how polite I am?
Just give us a timeline there, what we're gonna do with that, what the plans are.
On the sinkhole.
Yeah, I know some of it goes into next year.
The first thing I'd like to do, if Barry Mays gets back to me, he has a counter. I'm gonna get the counter, we're gonna hook it up for like 3 days, and just take an average of the 3 days, off of it for a 24-hour period. We'll go with that, that would be, they may accept that because that's a little bit actually more reliable than sitting
Sure.
there with a, clicker, which they will accept though.
Right, but you can fall asleep.
On that part. On the sinkhole, we're still gonna have to do something.
When I write sinkhole, I'm referring to that whole area, the whole thing, not just.
What we're gonna probably end up doing is, basically like what he suggested in here. I know,
With the veins, you're talking upstream, is that what you're talking about?
well, we're gonna have, the veins, yes, I don't think they would be that hard if we come up with some material, some old poles, telephone poles, as long as they're pretty substantial, we can make veins, look like little splash dams. I don't think we're gonna have issue with making them. The other part, he suggests, if you look down in there, we probably take 2 lids, because each one of them lids is like so wide, that's still sitting on the top of that. Take 2 more of them back, and you're gonna have to stabilize the wall on the one side. But if we're gonna if we're putting a round pipe into a rectangular hole, it's gonna have to be formed like this, down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To actually give you a pretty close figure in the cost, I would have to get down and measure from the cement pipe that goes under the road back roughly to where we're gonna have to I don't know if we want to backfill with what he suggested we backfill it with, like 2B is what he got. And if you put 2B in there, you're gonna back about 3 triaxle loads in there anyway, probably.
Just say 2A is better than 2B.
2A or 2.
Yeah, but you're talking probably, yeah, every bit of 3, maybe 4.
What's that gonna be? Price what, a little bit of traffic.
They're talking about $12 a ton, $13 a ton anyway. It might be a little more than that now, I'm not sure. Last I got was 11 something on the other side.
Well, they raised the price again. I don't have the new price sheets in the office, but they raised the price again to both quarters. They raised it at grass and they raised it in the enterprise.
12, they figured $12 a ton.
I thought
That's
13.
not too bad,
No, the stone will be, well,
You
yeah,
even
$12
charge
a
couple
ton
hundred
free.
bucks.
I do 13 Joe, just to be safe.
Well, that's
$13 a ton.
$260 times 20,
You're
right?
gonna figure,
You're how many?
you need about 75 ton.
Is that trucking included?
Yeah.
It's 975.
That's less than what the pipe will buy. Probably.
I just remember we used to get 2A for 50 cents a ton. And then the truck. This is where now, I don't know what it is now, but I know that it's ridiculous. They raise it every year.
So you have over $1,000 in material?
Right, yeah.
Probably
In
$2,000.
stone?
It's done, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
Then
the
another
pipe.
1,000 for pipe.
Yeah. Plus, personal labor. No,
Guys, right.
Now, if that channel does not have a bottom in it there, in other words, if it's not stone on the bottom, we can set the pipe down in farther, there's no stone in that bottom. I'm not sure, there's always been so much dirt laying in it, I can't tell you if there's stone out front or not. But that was
Then
like
you
to
have-
put your,
Next year, you're gonna put a big pipe
you're
under
gonna put
4th
big
Street.
pipe under 4th Street, so you'll have 48-inch pipe down to that, which is 42 now, so you're still gonna be bigger pipe, and then,
But then it gets real small when you go to that channel. That's not going to be 40 inches, is it?
no, it's 3 by 4 roughly is what he says it is, the channel, it's like 3 feet by 4 feet.
Well, so that's a 3-foot pipe.
Well, it's 3 by 4, and it is what it is, but.
I mean, I thought you were putting pipe in there, though.
Oh, you mean,
Into the channel, remember you talking about going
yeah,
into
well,
that channel?
you're gonna put a 48-inch pipe in there. You put a 48-inch down to what's gonna be replaced next year, if everything goes right, you'll put a 6-foot one in there. And,
How much is on measure?
Yeah.
under there. And 1 foot of that will be buried in the stream bed, because that's how they do it. And then that way, the first foot of it, whatever's in the bottom of the stream will end up line going through that
Right.
pipe, will it just like coats the bottom of the pipe.
Do you turn it up?
Yeah.
But
Huh?
that's basically what we're
No,
gonna
you're gonna have to
fill it
slow
in.
down.
That's what we're gonna end up doing, minus some of the stone. Minus some of it. I have some other workings. We'll work around that part a little bit.
We kind of came to a different conclusion every time we talk.
Well, I know we were gonna do as little as, we said we was gonna do as little as
Do as
possible
little as
right now,
possible with that,
until we put
the big pipe
the
in.
big
Yeah,
pipe in.
But we still don't, you don't want that hazard of that huge hole open down there. I'd love to be able to say, we just take a little wall along here and build it down, and if we had all the cement slabs that went across the top, we'd put the cement slabs and just let the water flow. If that would be the case, I wish we did have all that stuff, but we don't have it. We don't have
Across the
it.
street from Taj
It would be nice.
How much are you gonna have to dig back?
Yeah.
I mean, really, if we have to.
Go back toward the building,
Yeah.
probably about, I'm gonna figure probably about 10 feet probably at least. I know you're gonna have to take at least 2 more of them cement lids off. Then look at the, because that's one of the places that the wall bad back into there.
Did the fire company take those and blast that yet?
No,
No.
they
They don't
don't.
have to, it opens itself, it's all opened up underneath. They did it over the winter all by its little lumps himself. Because he took pictures,
Get
I
mine,
think,
well, we sure couldn't get at it.
What's that?
Isn't that good news?
It is, it
if
is.
you go onto one of the emails I sent out last week, there's a whole pile of attachments to it.
Okay.
And those attachments, he has pictures, you can look from one end to the other, right under
Okay.
his camera. His cell phone's made for that type of environment. He could put a candle down in there and they'd take a picture back through there. What he told me,
You can.
that's what he told me, that's the kind of camera he has for his cell phone.
What's your timeline here? What do you plan on doing?
Well, guys are gonna start, right now, they're gonna start working streets, sweeping the streets. The 53 is gonna be swept between, maybe late tomorrow, they'll bring the equipment up here, and into Wednesday, which usually Wednesday, like Wednesday and Thursday. Mark usually, he goes around, beats on people's door to get them to move their cars, so we don't end up with great big places that got swept and places
Who
that's not
does
swept.
this, the state? They
The
rent
state
it?
will do 53.
Do they
We
rent
end
their
up
equipment?
we end up beating on people's doors to get them to move their vehicles, so.
Well, they're here. They don't rent that out to us.
No.
No,
Just curious.
that isn't even theirs, that's how, they lease that through a company, I think, don't they, Walt?
Yeah.
But we're ready to start sweeping our own streets, other than we need a turnbuckle.
We
for
just
them.
put the new brushes on and everything
He put the
today.
brushes, Mark put the brushes on, the new brushes on, and that would be
Is
one of the,
renting the thing real expensive? I'm just trying.
the brushes.
No, the equipment that's gonna come here, I take it sucks up the dirt, it has a big vacuum, is
No.
one of those, no?
They sweep it with a
It's
truck, just trucks.
Yeah.
And then suck it up and then take it down, dump it. We use that for fill. But
You know, ours does not do that, so that's why I was asking, it just
No.
brushes
It
it
brushes
off.
off to the
side.
And that costs you, what, $300 a year for a new brush?
We should get at least 2 years out of brushes. You gotta remember, we beat the brushes.
Right. How much are the brushes?
Brushes were, 353, 359 or 350, 358 or 359.
What's it cost to rent the big machine that the state brings in? Just out of
Probably
curiosity.
$175, $200 an hour plus operator.
Just checking things out.
Mhm.
Does a better job.
It might be cheaper to rent one as it is
That's
to keep
what
one up.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
would say that's kinda high up.
They always have a water truck in front of them too,
yeah,
Yeah, so it's not that
to
steep.
suppress it, so it's not just a sweeper, it's a water truck too.
Usually it's a state.
Yeah,
has a
big tank,
in their
yeah.
truck.
Well, what's the cost? I'm just curious.
I don't know, I could ask Mike tomorrow.
All right,
You
I
might
was
have
just
an
be
idea.
personally interested.
Yeah, okay.
You might find it wouldn't take too long to do this little town.
It probably cost you about $4,000.
Oh, that much?
Probably.
a little bit.
Okay.
It's not in the budget.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Well, let's put it this way, it would be like 200 or 250 for the machine plus whatever the operator cost is.
All right,
It's
just-
still,
I was
it's
just
probably
curious.
still taking 2.5 days to do the town.
I just like to explore all the options, isn't it?
No.
Nothing wrong with
No.
exploring.
Okay. That's that. Railroad Street, we kind of talked about
Right.
the Railroad Street, the drainage problem up there. The one catch basin on Filbert Street, we're not gonna do nothing with it right now, but about end of this month, middle of June, we go down, we'll take a fire hose down. We have to meter it now. We just can't call down and tell them that we're gonna use water for maybe a half an hour. They're gonna come up and they'll meter how much water we use. They have to keep track of all the water. When they flushed the lines here, like 2 weeks ago, they had to keep track of what water they used that way. They have no problem with it. We just run it across in the hydrant. We snake the drain. We run that baby down in there, or 2.5 inch line, and Open
And
a
you're saying
hydrant.
that's
clean
about
up.
all we can do there.
On
right?
that
We're
one,
not
that's
gonna
about
fix
all we
that.
can do, because there's an old well, and this old well has sulfur and stuff that comes up into it. And it just gets like a red slime to it, and it's really just, it just sticks all through the catch basin and into the pipe that goes down, and the idea is you shoot it all down and out of there. But on the opposite side of the road, everything is open on the other side of the road. Her concern was it went from a 12 to a 10. I have no idea why it done
It's
that.
always
That's
been
done,
that way,
it's
right?
been like that way before I ever come on, because it's none of it's smooth bore, it's all ribbed pipe. And we've used smooth bore pipe since I've started here. Everything's always been smooth bore, unless you had something where you had to go in a to make a corner like this. And they'll use that type because it's bendable.
Well, our response is the same as Barbie's before, right? If we go
Yeah.
for one,
If she would find, can find us some money to do that, we
Right,
could
that's
do it.
fine.
It's a doable project. But the way it stands right now, on the normal rain, it handles the water perfectly, but you take 6 inches in a 6-hour period of time, or a 12-hour period of time,
Well, nothing's
it's not
gonna
gonna handle it. No, there's nothing gonna handle it. Probably, well, if anybody's ever been in Altoona on the boulevard, when they get hard rain for 45 minutes, you're usually driving in 8 to 10 inches of water down the boulevard. They end up closing it every time.
Sunday, you couldn't walk around our parking lot without snake rain. And that's
like,
what
There's so much pavement over there.
Any drought and a hard rain cannot handle it, that's just the way life is.
well, that guy lives in a basin, you know, I mean,
Okay, I don't know, Angel may be able to do better on the winter flood project. I don't, she's heard a little more than I have.
I talked to Jessica today. She just needed a copy of our most recent audit and also to get the check ready for our filing fee. We don't send in that check, we'll give it to her and she'll take it in when she takes in the application. She'll do
she
all
sent
that.
us an email that said $200.
Yeah, she did. It
Then
was,
she corrected it.
she corrected it, it was 100. She did say about that she needed a special meeting. She said she only needed 10 minutes. She just needs things signed. It's not really anything super difficult. I did tell her when the workshops were. I sent her the time and the dates of the upcoming workshops. She's going to look at those and see if she can make one of those just because we'll already be here.
Right.
But if we have a special meeting, it has to be advertised, so it's definitely not going to be this one because I won't have time to advertise
Well,
it.
yeah, this one, she wouldn't be able to get it in time.
No, it has to be sent in by the 30th, so we're looking, I would say probably the week before. Right now, she's looking at her schedule and she's going to call me or email me with some dates that work for her, and when I hear that from her, then I will get back to you guys and we'll figure out when a special meeting can happen for everybody, because we will need a certain amount of people here for it to be legal. And then I can get it advertised, and she'll come and we'll sign what we need to sign, we'll give her that check, she'll put it all together in a little packet, and she'll send it out. That'll be that.
Well, she never did get a hold of me that one Saturday that she talked about. She never got a hold of me.
Do you have anything else? I just made that agenda, but you can make your own agenda, do whatever.
The only other thing that I wanted to let council know, some already know about it, on our cleanup day, we had a good turnout as far as tires. They had pretty good turnout of appliances. I was a little disappointed that fire company took a little bit, it's bigger than your average type of refrigerator down there, and they refused to take it. I was a little upset over that, so they turned around instead, and they just went right to not Novi's, but to Natali's, and got rid of it that way, because it was already loaded on a dump truck, so they weren't gonna, after they had a bunch of guys wrestle it from there, get it out of there,
Right.
it wasn't gonna take it back and put it back, so they took it down there and just got rid of it that way.
That's $10 for it.
Is that what they got? But I mean, that's a shame, but
You pay pretty
they
good.
wouldn't take it. But, yeah, quite a few tires. The only other little thing, it kind of ticks me off. Jack pointed out that there was a drain down on Franklin. Franklin would be between where the old high school is and where the Masons have their building there now. It goes clean down to the creek. Well, down to the creek, we couldn't even find the pipe works to come out into the creek. And I would say it had to be 5 years at least since it was, well, we finally did, we dug around, we finally found it, cleaned it, got it cleaned out, we cut the end of it off because it was all mushroom from being hit over the years. We put a piece of plastic and we extended it on out. But while we're down over the bank down there, people threw their mattresses, we brought a mattress up, we brought 3 tires up, and all this other stuff. People have to get a little bit of self-respect and not just whip stuff everywhere you possibly
You know,
can.
that's what I'm a little bit worried about enforcement. Are you glad if you make somebody clean up their garbage? Don't get rid of it. Don't put it right in the township or in the creek or someplace else.
But you know, that brings up the, you know, the whole plan of that garbage disposal, you know, the tax
Yes.
plan that, you know, we've been discussing. You know, if we're gonna offer that tax-based garbage plan here, you know,
We
people aren't gonna have an excuse to just go and dump their garbage in.
There's only certain things you're gonna take in the garbage. You're still gonna have your problem with your tires, your refrigerators, your microwaves, your mattresses.
Yeah.
But then we offer that cleanup though twice a year.
We don't take mattresses.
You know, I still
take-
can
we don't
walk,
take
I'm
that
still
stuff.
walking
We
through
don't
the
take that
borough,
stuff.
and I'm still seeing tires laying in people's yard that had a real good,
Sorry, buddy. I had it loaded on the truck to take down, I forgot it was Friday, I thought it was Saturday, so I'm
now,
gonna
you know,
take it
I've
and put it back in the
mentioned
shed.
that they ought to do it the Saturday before, and then do it the Friday, because a lot of people at work don't, well, they can be there by 4 o'clock. When I work, there's no way I could be there on
No.
Friday by 4 o'clock.
Right.
And, you know, he said, boy, drop it in the morning. I said, I left before 6 o'clock a lot of mornings to go to work, because he said, at one point, when I did get rid of some, I brought them up and gave it to the guys and signed my name and just had them take it that way, is how I actually got rid of some one time.
We should
Heck, I haven't
follow
even
up
made it home yet.
on the garbage. It's just,
Yeah.
we have so
because-
many other things going on right now.
But that bank down there, when it all greens up, you're not gonna see this.
I know,
stuff.
but it's
when you
still
get,
there,
it's
right.
still unbelievable the stuff down there, unbelievable. We brought the 3 tires up, we'll have to whack them up or do something with them to get rid of them, but I wasn't gonna let them lay right where they were, because it's right where you're working.
Do you have anything else for us?
No, I
clean
I
up
just
stuff.
wanted to bring that
Don't
up,
you
that,
get paid?
some people do take
I
pride
get
in
my
it,
hourly
some people
rate.
aren't taking any pride at all in what they're
No, I mean,
That takes us to the
we
trailer.
have to pay.
Yeah.
Final
The
thing
borough
on
has
the,
to pay for each tire and
If Rubber
appliance.
Spade's still planning on showing up tomorrow,
That's what it costs
good, we're ready to go.
$31.
for a sec, we don't have to, Rubber Spade, you're willing to buy the trailer tomorrow?
Yeah,
Tomorrow? Okay, what time, do you know?
you tell me.
10 to 2, anytime in there is fine. And I'll
Probably
have
10
everything-
o'clock.
Okay, I'll have everything ready for
I
you.
have
We're
to
all
take the
squared
forks
away
off.
there.
But we have the forks
there
for
any
our
other
backhoe,
business?
so we put the
Anybody
cage
else
on.
have any?
Yeah, I have to get them off. I just
Nothing?
found out.
Do I have a
I'm
motion
leaving
to
today.
adjourn?
Yes, you
First,
do.
second, all right, we went overtime today, we're at 8:30.
Well, we were a little bit later starting.
Well, then we got delayed, yeah, stuff.
Look at this. We wanna make
Yeah.
sure before you.
Oh, do one more thing, you're going to fix the finance report. Would you email a copy to Reverend Spade? You still want them, you still post them?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll post
that's the
it.
one that's not right, so I don't want to give you something, is that okay with you?
That's good.
Once it's corrected, I can.
Appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Just one
Sorry.
question. When you voted for this amendment change, it sounded like you enacted it. Did you enact it, or are you just, because isn't there a period of time that the public can see this before you enact
They
it?
actually had their chance to see it. She advertised that over a month ago, so it's up to them to see the advertisement and come here. We only changed the one sentence, you know what we changed. But it actually,
Got a copy
it's
for
not
the morning,
it's not enacted yet until
The
the mayor signs it, and I sign that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see,
okay.
When?
Gwen,
And I'll get that
because I told you a part of the,
right now for you to
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, and this will do that while
I
I'm
wanted
here.
somebody down there, because he told me about just laying it out over on the parking lot. I said, I'm just
I didn't
gonna
realize
just lay some tree under the
that it
parking lot. I
was-
said, you come down there and say, this is.
I
what
thought
we're
you were
doing."
gonna vote on it, and then you would enact it next meeting.
So,
Yeah,
he told me
we've
just call
actually
me
been
and
working
get
on
down,
this
'cause I
for
wanted to
quite
call
some
you.
time, and we did advertise it, and we said that we
It
were
says
going
so.
to enact it. We gave a
That
specific
grand
date.
dog graduation
That would be
coincides.
tonight. I don't know what else to do
Yeah,
other
I
than
know.
that.
That's why I wanted to make sure last time I
I
asked you,
did,
because
I
we
wasn't
talked about
aware
doing
of it.
that.
I've been to every
Here,
one of
I
these
know.
meetings.
I know, sorry.
No, I thought today you were just gonna vote to do it, and then you
No.
would enact it next meeting.
No, this was it. We ran the thing in the paper.
PJ's doing tomorrow, 1 to 4, 7
Okay.
to 9.
Mayor of Borough.
He died?
Oh, yes. Oh, that